Hi folks, in this video I wanted to show you how to set up Maya so we are working in meters and not centimeters. This is handy to know because when you start to export your objects from Maya and import them into Unity, you need to make sure that they marry up size-wise. So if you're working in here and you've got no idea how large you're working, you import it into Unity and your building or your weapon or your prop is absolutely gigantic or it's minuscule, it's a poor workflow, it's a poor way to work. So my suggestion would be, from the Windows selection, come to where are we? Settings and Preferences, and if you click on the Settings tab here, you can change the working units within Maya to be what you want them to be. So at the minute I'm setting it as centimeters, and what that means is that every one of these units on the grid is a centimeter in size in the real world. So if I change this to meters and hit save, what happens now, you can see how everything in my scene is tiny because all the units are in meters now. So when I create, let's just create a new cube. This cube is exactly 1 meter in width, height and depth. So I can be sure that I've now got an accurate size of how I'm working with and the units that I'm working. So I know that if I'm working with this cube, if my prop is going to be this large, then it's going to be about 1 meter tall. So if I put that next to a character, it's going to marry up more effectively. The other thing you can do, a little trick, is to, on the human IK menu, this little fella up here, if you click Create Skeleton, it will give you a basic rigging skeleton, and you can use that as a guide too. So we're not using it for any other purpose other than to give us a reference for the height of our average character. So you can see that, let's say this was going to be a prop, it was going to be a box or a crate or a barrel. It's roughly the right size. It's 1 meter high, and that's going to marry up with the right image, the right size for our character. So if we hadn't set that up and I'd have been modeling away on my weapon, for example, and I hadn't done this before, then my weapon would have been absolutely tiny, and when I come to give that to my character, we would have to then start to resize it in Unity, and it's, as I mentioned, it's just a bit of a messier way to work. So always make sure you're setting up Maya to work in the correct units for what you want it to do.